You didn't start the.
And happy Monday. Welcome to the Plug Talk Sports live shows, episode 130. We just had Janka. I don't know where he went, but I'm sure he'll be back in just a second. Anyways, happy Monday. Hope everyone's week is going well so far. Just kick off the week. I know Brandon, I told him he's a little off brand today. He's wearing all white. If you guys don't know, Brandon is a big Celtics fan. So I tell him he's looking a little white hot heat today. So I don't know what's up with that.
I don't know about that. I'm all white for a Miami Dolphins home game, even though got the sleeping t-shirt on, but came to impress today. Came to impress.
Janka, you okay there? Did the Wi-Fi, did the media, did they grab you from outer space and just take you off?
It said that the browser did not allow you something, and I'm like, okay. I just came back in.
Well, how's your week going, Janka?
My week has been okay. Same old. Some of my teams winning, some of my teams losing. Spring training, this and that. It's been okay.
Yeah, you know the deal.
And then have we done good and bad yet or no?
We have not. We're only 2 minutes in, sir.
Well, usually.
We're going to start off with good. So, Janka, why don't you lead us off with good? You're so eager to jump the gun there.
Oh, well, okay. I'm going to say good so far was the Lakers losing to the Nuggets in incredible fashion. And then I ordered another card off of eBay, and it was a Carlos Vela gold to 50. It finally came in the mail today.
Okay.
Finally, I waited 2 weeks for it. It finally came in, so let's see what happens.
Brandon?
Well, of course, besides for those who have noticed or not, I finally got the Duvin Miami Dolphins collaboration hat. This is a hat that I paid $50 for in I want to say December, and I finally have my hands on it. Weird shipping stuff, but besides that, my dad actually got married again, and I was the best man for him on Saturday. Yeah, so I did a little nice toast. 4 minutes. I didn't want to go too beyond 5 minutes before I would have caught some people sleeping, but it was pretty good. Made everyone a little teary eye here and there. Used the best of my broadcasting abilities, but yeah, it wasn't too bad.
The worst part when people know you're a broadcaster, they're like, let's just use you for public speaking.
No. Let me tell you. The moment I finish it, someone was like, "Oh, it's so good." Well, yeah, of course. He's in broadcasting. I'm like, all right, calm down.
I feel that, man. I feel that. I've been there before. For me, good. Obviously, you guys know I'm a sports broadcaster as well. I signed on today. Before anyone panics, no, I'm not leaving Barry. I'm staying with Barry. He's having another gig to continue here with Nova Southeastern University. Has put me into the rotation of commentators. That happened today. Signed on today, which was quite funny because Barry and Nova are rivals. So, man, for all my athletes at Barry, I'm not betraying you. But might have to be a little bit more mutual now in between both of them. So I still love you guys. Go Bucks. Let's also go Sharks now. So happy to continue to elevate the career. Let's go bad. Janka, you want to tell us something bad?
Something bad. I really haven't had that bad. I mean, anything really that bad happen. Bad. You got me. You got me in a rare situation. If something bad doesn't happen for me, it's a rare occasion.
It really is, honestly.
Um.
Well, wait, how about that court thing? How did that go?
Oh, I mean, okay, I guess, but it was. They made me wake up, be on Zoom at 8 in the morning, and they made me. And the court judge didn't get there until 9 on Zoom, so everybody had to wait half an hour, and then for another 45 minutes, it was just a detective naming off officers that are with the cases of that day, and there's over 300 cases for the day. So you just imagine you have to wait for your case to be to be called, and you're just sitting there like an idiot, like
Wait, hold on, but like court? So like what are you like a witness on the stand? What's going
I
on?
was a witness.
Yeah, man. Hey, you got to hear this. It's a long story, but I
This
get.
is new to me. This is new to me. So
And then your boy here gets a phone call at 2 a.m, and he's like, yo, Daniel. I'm like, bro, what's going on, bro? He's like, bro, this guy tells me, first thing, without giving me any context, tells me I just got out of a cop car. I'm like, should I be concerned? Should I be concerned? He was like, no, bro. He's like, I was going to bed, and like, I look out my window every night before I go to bed, and I saw this guy breaking into cars. So he was like, I called the cops, and then like, whatever, the guy left, and then the cops were like, oh, I need you to come in the car because we arrested somebody. We need you to verify if it's the guy. And Jonko was like, yeah, it's the guy. And then he had to fill a whole witness report, and then yeah, this guy had to go to like the court thing to some trial or whatever.
whoa.
Yeah.
Hey, that's big time though. I mean, good job, making the right call though, man.
I know. It was, besides, from the moment I called the police to the moment that's it, I was able to just go back home. Was within 20 minutes. So much happened within those 20 minutes. That's why I was like going out of control. Like, wait, hold on. I gotta slow down. And I was about to go to sleep. So just imagine, like, oh shit,
Brandon, you got anything bad?
Bad news. I would have to say the experience of traveling up the spine of Florida again.
Mhm.
Going down to South Florida. Then Sunday, and again, Sunday the traffic wasn't bad, but the weather was horrendous though.
It was. It really
I
was.
left around the afternoon, already raining in Miami. I leave through Palm Beach, pouring in Palm Beach, pouring Ocala, in Gainesville. I'm going through all North Central Florida just in a rain, just my back, my ache, just because I'm trying to see because I don't have that rain decks or whatever you want to call on the windshields, man. I'm like dozing through. It was just a horrendous experience, and I just think there's always something when you travel up the spine of Florida. Maybe not the Panhandle, but when you're going through that I-75 or Turnpike, and you're just like trying to figure out where on earth you're going, especially if you're going through I-4.
Oof.
I mean, God bless you. I just can't. I just can't sometimes.
I-4 is rough, man.
It is tough.
I-40
It is tough.
burned.
I-4 is bad. I-4 is bad. For me, I have two things that are part of my bad. One, if you guys didn't see the Real Madrid Valencia La Liga game, big controversy. It was absolutely ridiculous. We're tied 2-2 with Valencia, and one of the Madrid players goes across the ball. Jude Bellingham actually scores, but the referee said, "Oh, I blew the final whistle." This man blew the final whistle with the ball in the air. Like, how do you do that? Like, it's terrible refereeing. So that made me upset. But it was okay because Girona and Barcelona dropped points, so it's okay. And the second thing, look, I don't know what it is, but 2024 just seems to be the year of everyone getting married. I have like 4 weddings. One of them is in 2 weeks. And we had a bachelor party this past weekend on Saturday. Dude, so we went to dinner, and we were supposed to go to this place called Empire Cigar Lounge. We're gonna have some cigars, right? And I'm all excited, man. And I worked on Saturday, and I was ready to just, relax, talk some crap with the boys, enjoy a cigar. Our friend, one of our friends, in his GPS doesn't put Empire Cigar Lounge. He puts Empire Lounge. Boy, what I pulled up to was not what I expected. We were at this little hole in the wall, which was pretty much a hookah lounge, right next to a strip club. So we're out here, like, I'm just sitting here disappointed because I asked. I'm like, hey, is it okay if I smoke a cigar out here? They're like, no, but you can on the other side of that fence there. And I'm like, okay. We're there, like, we're just hanging out, I guess, at this point. We had some drinks while we're seeing all the strippers clock in for work. It was one weird night, to say the least. We're like, we are definitely not supposed to be here. So from that point on, we're like, hey, bro, next time we go out, let's just make sure that someone else drops the pin in the chat of, like, where exactly it is we're going. And it was just weird the next day being at church and being like, yeah, last night I was sitting next to a strip club. Not purposely and intentionally, but by accident. So, life happens. But yes, those were my two bad. Anyways, first topic of the night. I know Brandon may not be too much. I know me and Jonko will have some things to say, but the Formula One season has started in Bahrain. The Bahrain Grand Prix happened this past weekend. It happened on a Saturday, which is weird because usually the races are on Sundays, and the race coming up this weekend in Saudi Arabia will also be on Saturday, and it's because they're going through the holy month of Ramadan, so the races have to be on a Saturday. The Vegas race is also on a Saturday, but that's just like one out of the many that are on a Sunday. But anyways, going through free practices and qualifying, everyone, I think, was very excited to see that, Ferrari was fast, Mercedes was fast. Then it came to the race, and then that was just a different story. You had the two Ferraris fighting each other. Charles Leclerc's car was terrible on Saturday. Carlos Sainz had the faster car, and they battled each other. Sergio Perez, the Red Bull, got in second. And me and Jonko were talking about this. It's just a strategy where he slows everyone down behind him. So he allows Max Verstappen to just continue to open a huge gap up in first place. Yeah, and if you don't know, yes, Max Verstappen won. He takes P1, P2, Sergio Perez, so it's a 1-2 for Red Bull. And then Carlos Sainz, a Ferrari, takes P3, Leclerc in fourth. But I think so far, the interesting aspects of Formula One, as the first races happened, has been off of the track. Obviously, 2 weeks ago, we find out that Lewis Hamilton is joining Ferrari for 2025. Today was just a mess. We find out that Max Verstappen's dad had a meeting with Toto Wolff, which is the team principal of Mercedes, that it's a good possibility that Verstappen could be joining Mercedes when Hamilton leaves. So that was one big bombshell. The second one was Alpine, who had a terrible weekend with Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly. Their team principal, I believe, got fired this morning after their terrible weekend. And then, if you guys don't know, F1 is controlled by the FIA, which makes up the rules and all that stuff. The president of the FIA is being investigated for trying to tamper in the result of a race. So many things happened this morning in Formula One that had nothing to do with what happened on the track. Yeah, on the track for right now, it's still Verstappen and Red Bull with the pace, but it's going to be an interesting season, I think, to see what happens with Red Bull. And obviously, everything with Christian Horner, the team principal, having been investigated for allegedly saying some comments last season to a Red Bull employee. And it was investigated, and apparently he was deemed not guilty after the investigation, which is why Verstappen's dad was upset. I don't know if there's any beef there between Verstappen and Christian Horner, but we'll see. But yeah, first Grand Prix, it's a 1-2 for Red Bull. I don't know, Jonka, if you want to add anything to that.
Listen, as long as Max is on Red Bull, I'm not supporting Max and Red Bull. But as of right now, because of that strategy that they're running and just having whoever's your teammate in second place or third place
Oh, yeah.
slowing everyone down, it just makes this thing not as fun anymore because there's no competitiveness or no there's no one-on-ones or because it's just damn retarded. I'm sorry to say it, but it's so dumb. What's the whole point of everybody competing if you're just gonna have your teammate slow the entire damn race down and give the guy a 30-second head start and then basically just be solo the rest of the damn race?
And then what ends up happening is, let's say if Sainz would have passed Checo for P2, there's nothing to do because he's already opened a 20-second gap. He's not going to catch him.
So I think F1 needs to fix that thing, because if this continues to happen and Max Verstappen's going to keep winning every damn race, and I think we're going to get fed up and it's not going to be as fun to watch anymore because they already know it's why am I going to watch this if they're just going to be running that stupidity every damn race. But as of right now, I mean, Lewis got top 10.
Top
10. Did Russell get in there?
Yes, Russell did. I'll tell you guys right now what the final grid looked like. It was Verstappen in first, Perez in second, Sainz in third, Leclerc in fourth, Russell in fifth, Lando Norris in sixth, Lewis Hamilton in seventh, Oscar Piastri in eighth, Fernando Alonso in ninth, and Lance Stroll in 10th. So pretty much a 1-2 for Red Bull, a 3-4 for Ferrari, a 5-7 for Mercedes, a 6-8 for McLaren, and a 9-10 for Aston Martin. So those teams kind of fared nicely.
I don't mind there being two drivers for certain brands and teams. Yeah. But at this point, there's no the drivers don't even seem to be driving for themselves. It's just driving just for the brand to win. And to me, that doesn't they're not really showing what their skill is. They're just okay, you know what? I'm with Red Bull. I drive for Red Bull. I'm just gonna let Max win all the damn races, and I look good. That's all that matters.
Well, there's politics that come to it. Red Bull obviously prefers Max Verstappen over Sergio Perez. That's their boy. So, there's been times where Sergio Perez is leading a race, which he has won races for Red Bull, and they'll be like, Sergio, give up P1, hand it off to Max.
If this keeps happening, I think people should start to question, is Max that good, or is it because of his teammate allowing him to get these big gaps in time?
Well, we've seen now Lewis Hamilton, obviously the GOAT, with 7 world championships. Max is up to 3 right now. So there'll probably be a good argument if Max can catch up to Lewis Hamilton. But from what you're saying, look, I think what we saw this weekend is, look at Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz said, bro, screw it. I don't care. You guys are getting rid of me after this year. I don't, because obviously Ferrari's golden boy is Charles Leclerc.
Yeah.
Carlos Sainz said, "Screw it! Like I don't care. You guys are getting rid of me after this year." That's why he went on full on and took on Charles Leclerc and passed him. He doesn't care. He's like, "You guys are getting rid of me after this year. I'm just gonna go for it."
Yeah, if there's continued drama with one of the two drivers not being in the spotlight or not giving him chances of winning any of the races or getting like podiums, I think there's going to be some drama for sure.
It's great because F1 does provide a lot of drama.
And I think F1. I think I would like to see F1 have individual drivers, like like one driver for every team, and then that way everybody's motivated to drive to see who's the best driver, and not have some teammate shake and bake everybody just for you to victory. Because
it doesn't always play out that way. You look at Alpine, Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly do not like each other at all. And the funny part about it is that they used to be friends. And when they used to go-kart when they were kids growing up, their competitiveness started taking over the friendship, and they started beefing. And they don't like each other. But someone in Alpine thought it was a good idea to put two guys that don't like each other on the same team. And then last season, they both crashed and took each other out of the race. So, yeah, there's that.
For me, this is just a hypothetical. Like, if I ever were to run F1, never will happen. But in the qualifiers, whoever has, I think, based on who has the fastest time to the slowest time should be at the front, and the fastest time should be in the back. Because that would make more sense. Why would you give the fastest guy the lead? Make it make sense to me. Like, come on.
I mean, you earned it. You earned it in qualifying. You earned to be in pole position.
I mean, earn it again. If you could do it again, do it against the worst in the.
I don't know, bro. I can't agree with that. If you qualified and you're the fastest guy on the track and you get put in last, bro, you're telling the guy to go through the entire grid. And sometimes, like, yeah, you may have the pace, but sometimes things happen in a race and you can't get through all 20 guys.
I get that, but I think that would I guess, like, how do you say, cancel out the good drivers from the bad drivers. So if Max was for real and he was able to go from the bottom to the top like that, then we know Max is for real. But if we were to test Max at the bottom and he just struggles to get even there.
You look at what he did in Vegas. He was P12 at a certain point, and he worked himself from P12 all the way to P1 and won the race.
It was a violation and a bad pit stop.
5-second penalty. And then he took that 5-second penalty when he boxed. Yeah. But when he came out of the box, he was P12. And then he worked his way from P12 all the way to P1. So, I mean, that just goes to show you right there.
It's nuts.
Yeah. But anyway, Saudi Arabia on Saturday. We're excited for that. Next topic on the agenda. Inter Miami absolutely destroyed Orlando City. This is probably the best game I think I've seen from Inter Miami in this young season. Only 3 games in. This is, again, best game that they've played so far. It was 5-0 over Orlando. Luis Suarez, I don't know what they did to him, but that guy must have taken injections before a game because we all know that he can't run for life at this point. I don't know what he did, but I think obviously the connection between Alba, Busquets, Messi, and Suarez showed in this game. Obviously, I think when that connection's firing in all cylinders, they're going to win games like this. But when it's a day where they're kind of struggling a little bit more, it'll be a tougher call because, again, they still have a poor defense. Orlando City, which is a team that coming into the season supposed to be favorites to win the Eastern Conference, looked like a mess. To be honest, they were terrible. I feel bad for those traveling Orlando fans that came down to Chase Stadium. They were very quiet. But it's a rivalry game, it's a rivalry game. These things happen. And there's still a long season ahead of them for both teams to go. But finishing off, yeah, best result that I think I've seen Inter Miami in probably club history. And I would say the 3 games that we've had this season, best result so far.
I mean, Luis Suarez, he definitely hurt us on Twitter. He definitely hurt us on Twitter because I was the first of many that said that, is this going to be another Higuain type of situation? Is this going to be too old and too late to see him actually produce something? He immediately produced. I mean, it was something that we were hoping that he would do from what we saw as one of the golden goal scorers in Brazil in those leagues and then come over to Inter Miami. First 10 minutes, 2-0. Messi comes out of nowhere, even scoring a goal with just his chest.
Yeah.
And then also, what I really love the most, though, Robert Taylor getting a goal off an assist from Suarez, the unselfishness. I mean, I kind of joke about it. I love to always remind people. I mean, Robert Taylor for MVP is not, it's not far-fetched. I want to go to Vegas for it, but it's not far-fetched to think about it. I just like the idea that Jordi Alba, Robert Taylor, Luis Suarez, and Messi has already have this connection going into this early of this Messi era in Inter Miami. But yeah, definitely the best time I think that Inter Miami has had with Messi, and of course the best match so far this early season. The goalkeeper for Orlando State, I think it was like Pedro
Gallese.
Yeah, Gallese. Gallese, I don't even know what he was looking at. 11 shots toward him, and it's like every single time he's looking back, I mean, I just felt bad. Like the Orlando City defense, even though, yes, they had more possession and they probably completed more passes throughout the way, it's like it's a total opposite from what we saw in Inter Miami in the Galaxy game. I mean, they're getting runs through. I mean, they're going right through the defense of Orlando City. And it's like Gallese is just, praying that he doesn't get one across the box.
Which is weird because he's usually a great goalkeeper.
He is. And speaking of goalkeeping as well, shout out again to Drake Callender. I mean, we talked about from Inter Miami in the preseason. It's not looking like the preseason no more. I mean, if not the best team in the MLS right now, it is the best team in the MLS right now. And a lot of it is because of Drake Callender. I mean, just getting the job done. I mean, a clean slate. And from Tata's point of view, in the coaching perspective, I'm really curious what's going to happen now. Because I know we have more players coming in. And, of course, I mean, we're going to talk about pretty soon now about the drops and the additions of Inter Miami. But I think Tata is actually finding a little bit better with his roster.
I think this is I think from the creation of the damn team till now, that was the best performance I've seen them play. I can't remember a game that they've played that well and dominated a team as good as they have on Saturday. Like, I got no cap. Straight up. That was gas. But I expected something to happen because Orlando City was talking some mad smack on Twitter. And I was like, all right. Let's see what you got. Supposedly the favorites, but I can talk smack too. But I think how they were able to fix Suarez was that instead of making him go on these long sprinting runs, that they made passes where he didn't have to run so much. Like he just had to handle the ball a little bit and then get in and score. He didn't have to try too much to make something happen. You know what I mean? Like they put him in situations where it was just okay, 1-2 touch, all right, dribble to the right, left, whatever he had to do, and then pass or score. I think that gave him a little bit more energy than from what we saw in the Galaxy game where he was just gassed. And he just looked bad. But now I think from that situation where they had on Saturday, I think they're gonna put that into the Thursday game, which I think they play. Is it Montreal? No.
Well, Thursday they play CONCACAF Champions Cup against Nashville.
Yeah.
Okay. Then they play Montreal, and then it's Nashville again.
Well, I need to see what happens with Montreal. No, with Nashville.
That Champions Cup game is going to be very good.
I need to see what Tata Martino does with the lineup because that's going to determine what's going to happen against Montreal. So let's see what he does with Suarez there. He's going to let him come in as a sub to give him some rest. Is he gonna start Campana? Is Redondo gonna come in? He's a new
Yeah.
addition on defense. We gotta see what happens. But as of right now, I'm liking what I'm seeing.
It's look, it's still early in the season. Anything happens in the MLS. Don't get ahead of yourself, guys. It's one game. Don't forget how the other two games went. Yes, they won, but they didn't look good. Yes, this is a great result. It really is. But again, having watched MLS, having worked in MLS, this is a league that you will be surprised by the end of the year when things. Did anyone predict Columbus Crew to win last year?
No.
Absolutely not. Everyone thought Cincinnati was going to run away with it. The year before that, everyone thought that everyone thought the New England was going to run away with it. Didn't happen. This is a league where when it gets to playoff time, like it's anyone's game. To be honest, whoever gets hot in playoffs, that's it. The Nashville game, I think, will be a very good test. Those two games, home and away leg for the Champions Cup, because Nashville is a very strong team. Very, very strong team, especially in defense with Walker Zimmerman. You know, they got Hani Mukhtar, who is a league MVP. Leao. It's going to be a great, great, great game, and we'll be looking forward to that. And of course, Montreal at the weekend. There's some former Miami players on there: Bryce Duke, Ariel Lassiter, Joseph Martinez. So it'll be interesting to see. They did get rid of, if you guys haven't heard, Deandre Yedlin. Look, Yedlin, for me, even watching him in the World Cup with the U.S. national team, hurt because he was such a good quality player. You know, having started his career with Seattle, then going to Newcastle, playing in Galatasaray in Turkey. He's kind of fallen off a bit, but I do think that he brought a great veteran presence and leadership in the locker room. So now that veteran presence in the locker room is gone, it'll be interesting to see the dynamic. Obviously, you still have guys like Messi, Busquets, and Jordi Alba in there that they're leaders. But I think the foundation of this team before these guys got here was on Deandre Yedlin. So it'll be interesting to see. But I'm okay with it. I don't think Deandre Yedlin has been performing all too well, to be honest with you. They sent him to Cincinnati. That'll be interesting because Cincinnati still has a great team. And it'll be interesting to see if he makes Cincinnati better defensively. But I'm okay with the move, getting rid of Yedlin and picking up some cash, and then you can go and get some more additions.
No, yeah, I think the cash part is probably the biggest thing that I see in my eyes, because if Miami was, let's say, like, hypothetical, right? Let's say Miami was not having the entire world on their eyes of how are they paying these players, then they might not be able to, be comfortable making this Yedlin move. But with Yedlin, it looks to be over 172,000 in general allocation money. So, Federico's going to come in, and who knows exactly who else is going to come in for Inter Miami during this season, especially the way that how the calendar is internationally compared to the MLS. But for Yedlin, though, honestly, I think it's really bittersweet. From Inter Miami's start, there's only a few players you can say are like the culture of Inter Miami, or like kind of remind you of Inter Miami, whether that be Lewis Morgan, Higuain, or whether that be, honestly, I think Yedlin's kind of up there. A guy that kind of gave you that attitude, and of course, a lot of people are going to look at the League's Cup championship, which I hate to bring it back to that all the time whenever I say Inter Miami stuff, but Messi giving that captain band to Yedlin, both of them kind of going back and forth about it. It was just kind of those, like when he joined, that's when Inter Miami started to get kind of going. So, but for Yedlin, wish him best of luck in Cincy. Of course, great club over there. It's going to be really interesting, though, what happens with this new addition of money. It's, if we don't get a speedy defender, nothing like that, I'd be kind of disappointed. But, it was something that had to be done though for Yedlin.
Jonka, before you go, I just want to say, looking at the defense, this is what Miami has on defense right now. Tomas Aviles, Ryan Saylor, Ian Frey, Jordi Alba, Nicolas Fiere, Sergi Kristoff, Noah Allen, Franco Negri, Tyler Hall, Israel Boatwright, and Santiago Morales. When you look at that defense, aside from Jordi Alba and maybe Kristoff, that is a defense that's very, very, very young and might not have the experience. Again, I'm still thinking the defense is something that still frightens me. Jaka?
Listen, bro. Yedlin, we love you. See, let's hope you do good in Cincinnati. Now let's talk about this defense right now. I pray every night just so that Inter Miami gets rid of Kristoff. I think he's just like Alba has the experience. I'll keep Jordy.
But even if you get rid of Kristoff, like, you're not fixing the problem.
I know we're not fixing the problem. You keep him in there, you have the problem. You take it out, you still have the problem. But I'd give the problem to a younger guy who's speedy and has more legs under him and at least can catch up if he gets beat. But Kristoff, in that LA Galaxy game, looked like a deer in headlights. And he just kept getting run by and run by and run by. And Yedlin, sorry to see you go, kept having to – Yedlin and Gomez had to keep, like, rescuing him for that. Like, it was really pissing me off. It was. But I think he needs to go. Trade him somewhere with maybe an extra guy. I don't know what you need to do. Get a young guy in that box, and you'll prevent more goals from going in. Because I'm telling you right now, in the future, you're gonna remember me talking about this damn guy right now. And you're gonna be like, damn, bro.
Look, the defense is already young. That's not the problem. The problem is having, you can get a player that's young that can run, but playing defense or playing soccer in general is a lot more than being young and running. You gotta have the technical skill. And right now, like, aside from Jordi Alba, you have Noah Allen, academy player. He's good, but like there's still, you can see there's a lot of like inexperience and undecisiveness of what to do when he's on the ball.
Yeah.
And bad giveaways. So it's a lot more than getting a young player.
Yeah, there's only one fix to this. I forgot. I know he's from Broward County. Was it Borgeling, number 49?
Shander Borgelin?
Borgelin, yeah.
He's a forward.
Who cares? Bring him back there. All right. He has the size for it. I think he has enough of the speed for it and the aggressiveness for it. I mean, again, is it crazy to say move forwards to defense? Is it crazy to say that, especially for Borgelin? Like, is he in a part of his career where it's like, oh, we can't move him anymore? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just think that for Inter Miami at this point of the season, as early as it is, it's okay to be creative, right? Whether you find new people, whatever you try to mix things up for Tata, I mean, just do it. I'd rather see him on defense and see him have more time on the field.
I can agree to that.
Since Inter Miami likes to do this, bring back Barca team. Let's bring Arturo Vidal from Chile. Since they need a defensive player, let's bring him in. Because forget about it. This is Barca 2.0 at this point.
Which, you guys already know my feelings. I don't think it's creative. If you're trying to build a club with its own identity, you're really just getting someone else's players and just getting them and putting them in your club.
Yeah. And just to fix that part, we should get Sergio Ramos to come in.
Oh, boy.
Marcelo, Modric, Rakitic, somebody, man.
Oh, the jersey collection will go insane.
Bro, where are you guys going to get this money from? Like, where
make it happen.
A couple more Yedlins. That's probably how.
Anyways, moving on. LeBron this weekend reached 40 40,000 points. You guys saw the plug of the week. That was our plug of the week. Member of Cleveland Cavaliers, member of the Miami Heat, member of the Los Angeles Lakers. It's remarkable, man. You look at this guy, he spends $1 million every single offseason on his body and just the longevity. I think what it really started to hit me was All-Star Weekend, which was like 2 weeks ago, where he said, I don't know how much I have left, but I know it's not much longer. That's when it really started to hit me like, damn, like the end is near. But just to be able to reach 40,000 points, man, is just a remarkable achievement. Obviously, us here in Miami, we've got to see some of those 40,000 points as a member of the Heat jersey. 4 straight finals, 2 back-to-back championships in 2012 and 2013. And it's going to be interesting to see, man, like what's coming up in the future for LeBron, whether he stays with the Lakers, whether he leaves the Lakers, or what historical accomplishment he's gonna hit next. But congratulations to LeBron on 40,000. I mean, it's just that number says it for itself.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not saying I can't believe it, right? But like, who else, right? Who else but LeBron James at that point of 40K? Is it weird to even think that LeBron is even in this because he's by himself? I don't know if there's going to be another player that's going to join him, right? I mean, we're talking about 20 to 21 years in the league right now, and we're talking averaging 25 a game to 23 points a game, still playing as one of the top offensive players in the entire league. Does he have 2 more years? I think he has 4 more years in him, to be honest. I honestly think he breaks 45.
I could see him getting to year 25 and calling it at year 25.
Which is even scarier.
Yeah. It's crazy. Someone said it too. Someone said I can see Bron going to year 25.
Yeah. Because, I mean, he's already talking about extension talks, which is even more insane.
Which I saw the extension was like 4 years. And I was like, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're talking about a guy that doesn't want to do any bit of a farewell tour or nothing like that. But for LeBron James, I just have to say a quick note in the sense of the game of basketball. He's by himself there. He's one of the best players all time. And again, accolade-wise, getting himself a triple-double in career stats. But I have to say, Jordan through 15 years had more points than LeBron through 15 years. So it makes you think, what if Jordan was able to have the exact same longevity as the king, LeBron James?
Yeah. That is crazy. That is really crazy. Jonga, touch upon LeBron James and 40,000 before I want to say a quick little story. It's basketball related. I think it's quite funny, but Jonga, what are your thoughts?
Before I get into LeBron, I'm just gonna say MJ's the GOAT. That's it. Out there. I think it's a longevity record. It's not. I mean, it's a great record to have, but it's because he's been so healthy and so good for so long that he was able to get it. Now, I don't know if maybe somebody would have to average like 30-something a game for like 18 years to probably even catch up, and including playoffs. So I don't know if that will happen again.
Playoffs.
But I mean, as much as I hate on the guy, like you gotta admit, like 40,000 is pretty crazy. I think he could have had more if he would have just had that Mamba mentality, that go for it, get out of my way. But he doesn't have it, and that's why he's not the GOAT to me. But overall, and that's not the only reason. But MJ's 6 and 15, 4 and 21. I don't know, makes a big difference to me. And I know my brother's already looking over there like looking sus, but congratulations, I guess. If he ever sees it, congratulations. But you're not the GOAT. Thank you.
Okay, so if you guys know or don't know, Dwayne Wade has a podcast called The Why. It's a great podcast. I love it. And he's had Lindsey Vonn on there. He's even had Rick Ross on there. I think so far my favorite episodes have been with his friends. Carmelo Anthony. He had one with Pat Riley, which was fantastic. And the most recent one from last week was with Chris Paul. And I just had to mention this story. Chris Paul was about to be traded to Miami to join LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. And he was going to be a member of the Miami Heat. What reason do you guys think that trade did not happen?
I know why, but I'm just...
This guy literally said, all right, cool. D, what number you wearing? And he's like, well, I'm wearing number 3. He's like, hell, you not. 3's my number. He's like, you wore 33 or something. I'm wearing number 3. And I think it was one of D-Wade's friends in the podcast was like, so you're telling me that this trade did not happen because neither of you wanted to give up the number 3. And Chris Paul and D-Wade were like, yep, that's exactly why it did not happen. So, NBA fans, we were just denied of seeing that happen just because 2 men could not settle a dispute over their jersey number.
There is no dispute. One had a championship, the other one didn't, and still doesn't. That's it. That's the only. There's no dispute for it. You're telling me you're going to come to my house, my stadium, my team, and you want me to give up my number and how much I fought for that first championship in 06, but you want to take my number? Yeah, please. You can stay with your little midget ass and take it over there.
It was pretty funny the way D-Wade goes, I took a pay cut. I'm getting less touches on the basketball. The only thing that can keep is my number 3. That I will not give away.
Let me tell you, Chris Paul has to be famous for the most what-ifs in trades in his entire career. He could have been a Laker with Kobe, and he could have been right there in South Beach.
That's true. He could have been with Kobe and Dwight Howard as a Laker.
Exactly.
That's crazy, man. That is crazy. But anyways, talking basketball, Caitlin Clark has announced that she is going to the draft. And honestly, at this point, I feel like she's already the face of the WNBA, and she hasn't even gotten there yet. And just the attention that she's getting, Travis Scott pulled up to go watch Caitlin Clark play. Like, when have you seen a women's basketball player in recent time that's gotten so much attention and so many celebrities or other athletes that want to go see her play? I'm very intrigued to see where she'll end up in the league.
No, I mean, like, and also Jake from State Farm was there, which was like the craziest thing. I don't know if you guys saw that, but like, man, I forgot the fullback's name, but like the fullback on San Fran, that
yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I forgot, but like his wife made a custom jacket for the guy Jake from State Farm.
Taylor Swift.
Yes. Why is he at these games? It's like the one thing that's always gotten me, though.
She made a commercial for State Farm.
Commercial or not, this guy should not be courtside watching Laker games, courtside at like big time finals, right there at the Super Bowl. I mean, I guess State Farm has a lot of commercial money, right? But there's just no way this guy's having a free ticket everywhere, even in Iowa. But for Caitlin Clark, though, I mean, she is an Indiana fever. Let's just get that straight. That is a number 1 draft pick. She's going to the worst team, being Indiana. Last year, they ended up getting that girl from South Carolina. I think Boston was her name.
Yeah.
But for the WNBA, there's also reports of season tickets just for Indiana. Again, number 1 pick coming up. Triple. Double. You know, I mean, like, we're talking about the price tag for now, the market for the WNBA, merchandise, ticketing, sales. It's gone up double just with her potentially going to the first team being that of Indiana. Honestly, I think that, and again, for her breaking the Pete Maravich overall record in the NCAA in Division I for men's and women's basketball, I mean, is it going to be done again? Same thing I say with LeBron. I think so. I think that the way that basketball has grown and the way that players are shooting and how the game offensively is becoming more faster. We see Caitlin Clark, she just goes half court half of the time to shoot the ball just for fun, you know? I mean, there will be another player like that, but there's only going to be one Caitlin Clark. I mean, getting your number on the court imprinted while you're still playing the game is pretty damn impressive in Iowa. So the Hawkeyes, they get us up a legend out there, and honestly, she's the Indiana fever through and through. I can't imagine if Indiana does not take her for the number one overall pick, it will be the biggest fumble in a long, long time. Probably the biggest in WNBA history, in my opinion.
It'd be pretty damn cool to see her end up with Sabrina Ionescu. It would be pretty damn cool to see her end up with Kelsey Plum out in Las Vegas Aces. Oh, man. You put in Las Vegas Aces, that is one hell of a team.
Yeah, you know what would even be better? I know it's not going to happen because the Liberty were just like in a final, but if she somehow later on in her career was able to match up with Sabrina in New York, that'd be pretty interesting. Maybe not, of course, not soon, but later on in her career, maybe.
What do you think, Caitlin Clark vs. Steph Curry next year, All-Star?
Jock, you want to go first?
But I already know who's gonna win that matchup. But I think Sabrina's a better shooter than Caitlin Clark at this moment in time. Now, I would like to see a 1v1 between Caitlin Clark and Sabrina. That would be nice to see. And then the winner would probably play Steph. But I don't know why it has to be Steph. You have to play somebody else because I think Steph is in a whole other realm. But for Caitlin, I mean, that's a great achievement. Like, I think we will see it like broken because of NIL, and I think now with how these college players are getting paid, like there's less incentive about just going straight into the professional, like you know what I mean? It's man, I think the next person to break it will be a woman. I think the next person will be a woman because in the men's they're just 1 year, 2 year, and then they're out. 1 or 2 years isn't enough to break the record. And they would have to be averaging like 25, 30 a game in those 1 or 2 years. And I don't see there's not many players that stay the whole 4 years. That's why I think in the women's there's more of a chance that you can break it if you just continue, if you're the best player on the team, like we've seen with Caitlin right now. So being said, Caitlin, if Miami ever gets a women's team, please, and come to Etiquetas because I'll give you a free and I'll take you on a date too. So
oh man! Oh my God! What is going on here, man? What is going on here?
Hey, man, John can put on all the stops, man. He's putting all the stops. Bring back the soul.
Shooting for the
Bring back the soul back to South Beach.
Yep.
Straight up.
All right. Final topic of the night. We're finally in March. You know what that means. March Madness.
Can't wait.
Which team are you guys looking out for? Honestly, this has been the most up and down college basketball season. There has not been one team where you can say, man, that's the one. Because it's been all over the place. I'll read the rankings to you guys. At number 1, there's Houston. At number 2 is UConn. At 3 is Purdue. At 4 is Tennessee. At 5 is Arizona. At 6 is Iowa State. At 7 is North Carolina. At 8 is Marquette. At 9 is Duke. At 10 is Creighton. At 11 is Baylor. At 12 is Illinois. At 13 is Auburn. At 14 is Kansas. At 15 is Kentucky. At 16 is Alabama. At 17 is South Carolina. At 18 is Washington State. At 19 is Gonzaga. At 20 is BYU. At 21 is San Diego State. At 22 is Utah State. At 23 is St. Mary's. At 24 is South Florida. And at 25 is Dayton. Brandon, we'll go with you first. What are you thinking about March Madness coming up, and who's the team to watch out for?
It's March, man. Get the brackets ready. It's going to be a wild one this year.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think there's a lot of teams you can really look for right now. I mean, if you look across the SEC, the 7, and honestly, with tournament play coming up soon for conferences like the SEC, it's going to be really interesting what happens with Florida. I think, and again, Gator, right? But I think for the Florida Gators themselves, lasted at least 2 weeks in the AP top 25, and for good reason. They have a lot of AP top 25 wins, including that at Rupp in Kentucky, which I think is probably the biggest one out there in Lexington. But the team to look for, I think, honestly, surprising enough, it's got to be South Florida. I mean, Youngblood, he's led that team like through FAU, through that entire Atlanta. Like, I just think that it's right timing as well, right? This South Florida squad comes out to win their conference during the regular season, and then as well, I mean, what we're talking about, they're elevating, right? They're on everyone's market. There's everyone's wire. Like Kansas right now, he's dropping a little bit. Creighton has having kind of a sloppy, last few weeks. Tennessee, again, SEC plays never too easy for Tennessee. But they're also looking a little bit more human, even though they have probably one of the best players in the entire nation. But I think South Florida is definitely a sleeper team. Not going to say it's win it all, right? I still think by miles UConn is up there and Purdue. But I mean, I really do believe South Florida, far-fetched, Sweet 16, Elite 8 type of team right now.
Okay. Jonka?
Man, as I'm sitting here looking through these rankings, man, it's so tough because, as you said at the beginning, this year has been up and down. Every single day you see a ranked team go down. Number one goes down. Then the next week they're back up and then back down again the next day. Man, who am I looking for? I know UConn is second right now, but I think they should be number one because they were the champions from last year. Houston, they're good defensively. Purdue, I'm not even counting them in because they always choke it. So, I mean, I'm not going to say North Carolina or Duke because I think they're 1 year away. I think it's so tough. I mean, you can never count out Kansas because no matter what seed they are, they're always there.
I have a sleeper. What about Marquette?
Mm,
Big East.
that's
They can surprise. They can make things difficult for people.
No, they can. But if I was to look at overall winners, right? Also, another sleeper I think people have forgotten about, Gonzaga. I think a lot of people have forgotten about Gonzaga. Only a 4-loss team. My apologies, 6-loss team in the West Coast.
Yep.
I think that, hypothetically speaking, right, the way that the bracket is built, let's say hypothetically there is an area where Arizona doesn't have to go against any top teams above them, right? Like they don't have to go against a Houston, a UConn, a Tennessee, and then also, maybe even on the later part, they don't have to go against a Duke or North Carolina. I would think Arizona would definitely be a team that you see in the Final Four, along with that of UConn and Duke. I think it's very interesting, though. I think the way that the Big East is built, I think Creighton has the ability to do it, right? And I think they have it a little bit better than Marquette. I think Marquette right now, they've been just kind of dropping a little bit. I mean, now with the 7-loss season. And again, we have to see the tournament for the Big East. I think the Big East tournament, the SEC tournament for men's basketball, it's going to be really competitive, highly competitive, I think, in my honest opinion.
It is.
Think?
My pick might surprise you. It's going to come out of the SEC, and it's going to be Auburn.
Whoa. So we're going for height now. That's what we're going for. We're going for height.
I'm going with Auburn.
Yeah. I like Auburn. But, so we're doing like picks for SEC tournament?
I think no. The question is, what's the team to watch for as we head now into the March Madness tournament?
Yeah.
South Florida. I'm going to go with Auburn. Jonka still hasn't picked.
I'm leaning towards UConn again, bro, because every year there's somehow they make it and they're tough to beat. I'm going to stick with UConn, but I need to see the bracket and how it is officially when all teams are. I need to see the way. I need to see the line. I need to see where it goes. Who are they playing up against? Because this is gonna be a good one. If you wait for that episode, whenever it comes.
Yep.
We're gonna be definitely giving out some good predictions, but man, I think it's gonna be. I think UConn right now. I mean, team to watch, yes, but like as a sleeper, no, they're not a sleeper because they won last year. So as my sleeper, I'm gonna go for South Florida. But you know what? South Florida, South man. Let's go 305.
Okay.
Yeah, in Tampa.
Yeah, in Tampa, but South Florida.
When that episode drops, we'll be here. We'll be covering. We'll be talking about brackets. But anyways, that's gonna do it for us tonight. Episode 130. We thank everyone for tuning in and for just giving us support. But before we end the episode, we have an announcement. We will be back in the barbershop this week, and we'll be having a barbershop talk. And our special guest this week is going to be Willie Escala, who played in the World Baseball Classic for the Czech Republic and actually faced Shohei Ohtani. So we're going to be asking him a whole bunch of questions and how that experience was. That's going to be filmed on Thursday at Grumman Barbershop. Of course, thank you to Grumman Barbershop for always the hospitality and hosting. But anyways, until then, we'll see you guys next week for episode 131, and we hope you guys have a great rest of your week.